We are live. Welcome to this new RedBlue Pod. This is RedBlue Pod number 15. Today we will cover She-Hulk, the fabulous, the best of the best, the masterpiece, and then we will. I like that intro. I like that intro. You got the best intro. Um, bruh. Blade Runner and Stargirl. At least we got Stargirl, right? She saved the week.
uh, and the action with him is actually good. So I'm really questioning who actually directed that portion. Because I highly doubt that the people directing this show did. But yeah.
Bruh, I
Then
got bad news for real. I messed up with my OBS, and I realized afterward that we were not able to hear your voice for like the intro. That pisses me off. I messed
damn
up.
it.
My bad. You had the best intro ever. You had the
No,
best
it's
intro
fine.
ever, bro.
I basically just said, yeah, She-Hulk got canceled this week, so we're reviewing an episode of Daredevil. There we go.
And
Okay, well, I don't know if they heard, like, my one critique there, but yeah.
now they aired it. Now it's fixed. Don't worry. Now it's fixed. We got the
Okay,
best
but
intro
yeah.
now. And what were you saying about people praising this week?
Yeah, well, a lot of people are like, yeah, it's fine. This is a great episode. Finally, a good episode of She-Hulk, and it's like, okay, yes, it's by far the best, and yes, only because of Daredevil, which everybody admits. But I still wouldn't call it good. I would just call it competent, maybe at best. But nonetheless, finally, not a bad episode. At least in my opinion. Yeah, I mean the opening with the action and everything. I'll pay $500. They made somebody else film that, and not the same directors in secret, because I highly doubt they could pull that off. Yeah, this is yeah, whatever. And then yeah, then we have a bunch of. Oh yeah, but then She-Hulk of course comes through the roof and ruins it. Well, a great way to make a character just unlikable as possible in your own show, just ruining the action scene there. That's perfect job, writers. Nice. Anyway, so we got a bunch of C-listers as well, which spans, which is actually I don't mind. It's kind of just fun to see, but like leapfrog, but whatnot. For the hell of it. I guess, and then yeah, more. After all that though, then it's just more shit like drowning our sorrows away and just the same fucking shit. Just with Mac Murdock now, making the scene somewhat competent because he's so amazing. And then of course, the perfect match. Oh fuck me. Okay. And then I guess she wins female lawyer of the year. I am so it's like every episode there's just like this random like thing that pops up, or this award, or like something to shove into this episode of fucking
Because
female
if
lawyer
they
of the
don't
year.
tell us, we don't know. Because the court stuff is so bad, bro. They need to tell us. We need to know. We
Yeah,
need to
exactly.
know if she's good or
God,
bad.
it's like every fucking episode though. It's like they need to do some sort of like thing, but where it's like she wins this lawyer competition. Oh, she wins fucking biggest bitch competition. I don't know, because it's like they just have to keep like saying, "Okay, guys, this is the part where we all have to pat her on her back now. All right, go, women."
Woman
Oh
strong.
my god.
Look,
Uh,
this is another disaster. This is the best episode so far, but the bar was so low that it's not really impressive. It's like,
yeah. Well, it isn't impressive because for a Daredevil episode, which is what this really is, it's pretty weak, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, Daredevil is much better. I mean, okay. Um, I need to say this because it's something I heard and I fully agree 100%. Charlie Cox, the actor that played Daredevil and Matt Murdock, he basically said yes to the shitty script only because he gets his own show later on. Poor guy, bro.
Of course.
Suffering through this crap. At least he
Uh,
will get a good paycheck at the end, but I don't know,
they're already
man.
damaging his character with just 2 episodes of being in She-Hulk, and they're already damaging his character with the shit they're doing.
And this is sad because I even said it in my review part for my video, where Daredevil and Matt Murdock was actually good until they ruined him at the end of the episode, and I said it. They murdered Murdock. Hell yeah, they were able to do it with one scene, making him entering some random apartment in his costume because that's some kink from one of the writer and they need to insert their kink.
Mm-hmm.
That's also why She-Hulk needs to sleep with him, because she sleeps with basically any attractive man in the show, because this is how
Yeah.
men are showed in this show. They are dumb, retard, and yeah, they're toys. Empowerment! You don't know what it is. Empowerment, empowering.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
because
sad.
it's like they think every fucking other film or show does it the other way around. It's like no, it's like no, just some shitty ones. That's about it. Like holy fuck, you are so. Oh my
And
god, you are
this is
just
this
so
is weird.
unknowledgeable.
I will say this. This is weird because here in Quebec, most of our entertainment is aimed at women and female because it's made by them and it's used and watched by them because they are the one
Mm-hmm.
watching
And,
movies and shows.
and let me guess, there's probably more like men watching it than females there.
Actually, no, no. Where I live, like here in Quebec, most of the entertainment is aimed at women and for women and made by women. And
Ah, okay.
that's the thing. It's much better because these are competent writers that knows their target. They they don't force down other genre what they want to show. Like when you watch TV shows or movies from where I live, you know what to expect. And this is usually comedy. This is usually low budget stuff. I'm honest with that because I won't lie and say it's Hollywood budget. But here's the thing: it's made with care, and even men can be into it because it's made by competent
Mm-hmm.
writer. They are all women. Like most of the industry is women here. And that's why like comedy and drama are like the biggest thing here, and it's also because it's cheaper, but that's like what they want to do here. But it's not made in a way that only women can enjoy and watch. It feels like She-Hulk, they only want women and female to enjoy and clap and laugh. This is all it feels like. And this is one of the many sins. The writers are really atrocious. They are really bad. They are paid so much to make that awful show. I just don't get it. Disney doesn't care. And this is funny. I did a bit of research in terms of video maker and content creator on YouTube for my video, and pretty much everyone tell the same thing. Even if people enjoy the show, most of the time, what they bring as issue, the writing. So
Mhm.
fire the crap out of them. Here, as I said, most of the entertainment is for women and made by women. But it's competent people making this. Because this is competent people, everyone can enjoy. Everyone can like what's going on here.
Yeah.
And this.
I hate that excuse because, like, yeah, you can make it where even men can like it, even if it's more directed towards women. It's like it's excuse the shittiest ones always use.
Mm-hmm.
In all media, it's like it's dumb if you do it properly. It does not matter. All right, we've seen it many times before. Like the Devil's Wears Prada. Like that's a good example. It's like just
Yeah.
make it good. That's all.
Stargirl
Jesus Christ.
is my favorite comic book TV show, and I'm a man. That rant about She-Hulk, it's something went wrong with She-Hulk, and now I didn't go too deep into what I noted, but let's do this. It was painful, as usual. It was not funny, as usual. um, the court case was another disaster. It was a lost cause, and Jen looks even. She looks as stupid as her client because she didn't know her client didn't follow the instruction. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, don't you speak with your client before you go in court? Don't you think about making arguments to win your case? Instead, you get that surprise in your face and you basically lose your case because of that crap. Um,
Mhm.
Plot convenience. I forgot why I noted that. I actually forgot why. Yeah, I forgot. But I noted plot
Wait,
convenience.
forgot why what?
Plot convenience. Like, at some point,
Oh.
there's a plot convenience in the episode. I forgot where exactly. But since I noted this somewhere, that means I had an issue with some story element that felt throw threw at the wall, hoping it sticks. Um, I think the plot convenience was actually. Oh, I think I remember in the action scene with Daredevil, he jumped from I don't know how many floors, only to land at the right time on the top of the car. I was like, it makes no sense. Like, where's the action from my Daredevil TV show? Don't you remember, like, there was a spiral parking and, like, the car was going down, down, down. And at some point, Matt just jumped from I don't know how many floor and he just happened to land on the top of the car. I was
Yeah.
like, man. Do you remember that scene?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I believe you.
It's it's ridiculous. Um, the action
uh,
sequence, they found a way to mess that one up. People have crossbow, nobody shoot anything. Why don't they wear guns? I don't know. They have crossbow, but they will run toward Matt to fight and to end combat. They are stupid, stupid.
yeah. Yeah, but look, at least Daredevil looked cool, and that's the most we can. Look, do you really
Ah,
expect them to pay attention to everything else? These directors and writers.
I don't
You,
expect that
you
from
know, you
them
know, you
because
know
I
the
know
fact,
they
the
won't
fact
do
that
it.
the fact that they were even able to make Matt Murdock look cool in those action scenes is fucking it is like a fluke.
Look, it's not because you're a bad writer that I will give you a pass. It doesn't work like that for me. Even if I
uh,
know how good you can be and how bad you can be, I will not give you a pass.
I'm
Bad
trying to be as
writing
nice as
is
possible with them.
bad
All right, come on.
writing. The dialogue, boy. As usual, the dialogue is so awful. I just don't get it. The gala speech, insert from the writer. Oh yeah, the woman. They are the victim as usual.
Mm-hmm. No, no, tore the dress apart. Oh no, evil.
And as I said earlier, Matt entering with his suit in Jennifer's apartment. Look, I don't care about them sleeping together because at that point we are used to that, and that's something I kind of expected coming into that episode because it was like, yeah, they will sleep together because attractive, you know. Um, but my issue is he had his freaking costume. My Daredevil is smart enough to not enter like building like that, an apartment dressed as Daredevil. Like he go hide in the alley somewhere. He takes off his suit, or he go in a bathroom somewhere. He takes off his
Oh
suit.
yeah, the way she just found. Oh my god, was able to find out his identity and pull off his mask like that. I
Yeah,
wanted to just fucking.
yeah.
You know what's the proper word to describe it? Yeah, I wanted to like maybe grab like one of those
Nitpick,
surgical knives.
nitpick,
Yeah,
scalpel.
no, no, grab one of those surgical knives and just slowly stab it into my kidney. For watching that scene, just watching that scene play out. It's like the equivalent of like just Batman telling every single person his secret identity.
And that's funny because at some point I marked down to meta. So I suspect when I mark down to meta, they acknowledge how bad their show is and they tell us how bad the show is. Or actually, they said the episode should have ended there. And it's right. The episode should have ended there, and that you keep the gala for like your final episode. You don't need that shitty, awful cliffhanger. Now, speaking about shitty, awful cliffhanger, it's not an issue, but it's not like either. I don't know how to feel about that one. I really don't know. So at the end, she basically gives in and she breaks the screen. So, is it a character flaw or a plot device for the story to happen the way they want? Because these are two different things. And I really don't know how to feel about that. Do you know where I'm getting at right now? Like at the end when she's like
Damn, my
SLUT
mic was muted.
shamed.
Damn it. But yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
Uh what's your take? What do you think is the case here? Is it they use that as plot device, so they're a bad writer that used their main character as plot device, or
Uh,
they depict her as being truly flawed and human?
plot device. This whole episode was a plot device.
Yeah, so you see, I'm torn apart. Like, only bad writing makes me wonder what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what's going on, but I don't understand the intent. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, only a bad writer do that, you know? It's it's bad. It's bad. Now, I will be
Mhm.
honest, as usual, there are some things I liked. Uh this episode was much more entertaining than the usual episode. I will admit that. Even if I'm not a
Oh
fan of
yeah.
the Always scene because Daredevil did it much better in their own show with all the fight scenes, I think the fight scenes were fine. I like the fight choreography, the fight Matt and She-Hulk had. I don't know what to feel here again. Like, I think it's cool, but I also think it's really stupid because it all leads to She-Hulk being stupid and smashing first. So,
Yeah.
it's. I don't know what to feel there. um,
You feel nothing, just like the rest of the show.
yeah. I had a smile when Matt entered the courtroom because it felt like a Daredevil episode, just like what you said earlier.
Damn,
And
damn, you smiled once. Holy, that is a rare
yeah,
occurrence
yeah,
on this.
yeah. He had his whole line about the parking and him not finding parking but not driving. Like, he got lost. And I think that was some kind of throwback to his show. And I had to smile because I was like, he is Daredevil. Daredevil is in the place, buddy. Hell yeah, this has gotta be better. But, yeah, Matt actually felt like a real lawyer in that courtroom. Much more than Jennifer all these times she sit in that room and gives stupid argument made by 5 years old. For real. um, I think that was the best court scene when Matt was speaking. Even if I think Jen was really stupid to pick up a lost case like that, and they need to make everyone stupid for this to work. I actually think Matt's side was smart for once, and this leads to another praise. I'm actually surprised they made Matt winning the case. They were brave there. I like that.
That was shocking. You know, that was It's sad when you have to give them credit for doing something like that, but with everything they've been doing throughout the whole show, that is shocking.
And not just that, like, it's normal. Like, it would be even more shocking if he lost a case that was
Yeah,
given to
well,
him
no,
like that.
there was literally no possible way for him to lose. So if he did, then that would have been just
Worst.
automatically worst write-in moment throughout the whole show, and there's been tons of dog shit ones. That would have made me just like not like the whole episode after that. Oh, well, I at least think it's competent. I would have like downed it like fucking 5 points. Jesus Christ.
And I will say this. I don't understand people would think Daredevil stand a chance versus She-Hulk in a fight. Like, I prefer Daredevil. He's much cooler, but there's no way he's winning a fight versus her. So that's funny because I've seen in some reviews of other people after recording my video, they were like, "Oh yeah, I've seen people complaining about Daredevil losing to She-Hulk." My mind is like, how can you like that? The fact that Matt lost the fight, like physical fight versus She-Hulk, I understand. She is broken. She is OP. She is like a tank, and he's just a foot soldier with like a knife.
Yeah, that's what I got. That just exposes people who didn't watch a Netflix show. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
It exposes the fake ass people trying to act like they watched it.
yeah,
Oh my god. And also, I mean, yeah, like they did show her basically lose. It's not like they had biases for her as well when it came to, I mean, they did throughout the whole fucking show in other areas, but when it came to that though, it really didn't because again in the first episode, like again, she was fighting Hulk who wasn't trying to fight her
yeah,
and he beat her ass. It's like
yeah.
she just like tickled him with like coconuts and stuff. That's it. And then he just like, slapped, boom, knocked her fucking like 20 feet, you know,
I
and then just like give her fucking NFL tackles. Just like, so I mean, clearly don't have bias because she basically kind of lost the Hulk there. So I mean, so it makes sense there. And then it makes sense that you know won this. So doesn't matter.
I also like the bar scene. I do think they had chemistry on screen. It was interesting to see them like talking.
I do as well. It's just I've seen so many bar scenes and drown in your sorrows away at this point. Fucking where I'm just like I'm done. I don't care anymore. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Because it's like there's like more bar scenes or like drinking in it than fucking Jessica Jones. I swear to God. It's sad.
That was my
Uh,
favorite aspect of
did, did,
Jessica
did,
Jones. She was
yeah,
always
did
drunk.
she ever end up fucking cameoing in this yet? Because they said that I can't remember
I,
which
I've
if she did yet.
I've heard she was spotted on set, but maybe it's in the final episode, or maybe she already cameo, but we didn't notice because she was an extra or something.
Yeah, or it's just we were so zoned out from how bad this was that
Yeah.
we didn't notice. Let's see.
Um, Man, I want Jessica Jones, and I want her to be handled by good writers.
That's a good thing though that she hasn't appeared in this yet and would appear in the last episode. Because if she appeared like midway through, they would have done more story stuff with her for at least one episode, kind of like what they've done with other characters, and probably like turned it into another one of those fucking awful characters and supporting She-Hulk. So this won't be the case. I'm sure.
But
So
I will admit this. I do think Matt Murdock, outside of that stupid room scene where he goes into Jen's apartment with his Daredevil costume, outside of that, I do think he was somewhat cool. For sure, it's not as good as his own show because it's not his own show, first of all. And second, I feel like too much CG is used in this fight. Like all the acrobatic, it's not practical. It's clearly CG. And I'm like, Daredevil, if they do this in the Daredevil TV show, yes, it will look cool, but it will break the grounded aspect of it. What I like the most about Daredevil is the fact that he can be grounded. And this is what I like the most. But then you will make him like flip and jump like a dancer. I don't know, man. Um, I will admit I had another smile when She-Hulk and Matt were speaking on the rooftop, and they clearly show Matt being smarter than Jen. I had a smile there because they're like, "Oh, they had a balls to make a man smarter than their almighty female superhero
it
superpower."
yeah. But you see, it's only because he's blind. If he wasn't blind or disabled, then they wouldn't do that, obviously.
Oh man, you're damn right. I give too much credit, bro.
As I said, that's exactly what I said. Like at the start of this show, where I said, when he shows up, okay, either they're gonna make distasteful jokes about fucking, one of his disabilities, completely,
Not finding
because
the
they're that.
parking.
Yeah, because him trying to find the park, because they're that hypocritical when it comes to like some stuff, and then other stuff, just like how fucking Spike Lee just like it makes films about racism, but black people, but then does some racist fucking scenes of Asians, but whatever, but yeah, that or that he would be the one male in it who isn't treated like an idiot because he's blind. He's a disabled person, so he counts as a minority.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we move to the score?
No, that's about it.
Okay, what's your score of this episode?
3.5.
Oh, that's good. That
Actually 4.
we are closer than I thought. I gave a 4.5 out of 10 because for once it's almost even. I almost have as many likes and dislikes, but there's a bit more dislikes, Like there's almost a full line, but it's not as terrible as usual.
Yeah, so 4 because it's technically like watchable enough. 4 out of 10 is the mark. Anything
Well,
below a
watchable,
4 out
I
of
don't
10.
think so, but it's better than the rest for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Matt Murdock scenes are enough.
Yeah,
There,
yeah, yeah.
that's the case. So, and the best She-Hulk episode before this one was like a 3.5 or a 3. So,
Yeah.
So that's why. So
This is a
it is. So
biggie.
yeah, a 4 out of 10. So it's the first one that's somewhat rewatchable. There we go.
Now, my favorite part, my laugh count and my smile count. We are now at 8 episodes in. I have 12 smile and 2 laugh. Keep in mind, this is a comedy.
Uh, Comedy, and I bet you all those laughs and smiles weren't even with She-Hulk herself. This is just. Oh,
Okay.
I mean, look, there is one silver lining though. All right.
Okay.
Uh, at least it's fun to roast
Oh
instead of
yeah,
watching
I agree.
instead of watching something like Titans, which is just a bore you don't want to talk about.
Well, trust me, we will watch season 4, bro. We will cover season 4.
There's a season 4.
Yeah. You don't need to
Fuck
watch.
me.
You don't need to watch all 3. Just 4.
How the hell did that not get canceled?
I
I
don't
thought
know.
it was
Look,
guaranteed after season 3.
look. I think it got better each year, but the bar was already really low when it first started. So
Yeah, it got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. People saying, "Ah, perfect." And those are fake reviewers. I don't buy that.
I think my biggest issue with season 3 is how they like messed up people dying and stuff because um when you die it should be like something emotional, you know? You should die. When you die, bro. There's no like afterlife shenanigans because if you introduce that kind of afterlife, you're like, okay, nobody will truly die. They will just have another kind of life after that, you know? And I think in a show like Titans, it can kind of break it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I will give a good example, Bleach. Even if you didn't really start it yet, or except if you did at school, but without any spoiler, it's about life and death. And when people die, there's another world for them. But here's the thing: they can also die there, and it's like permanent dying there, and it's different because there it's like another dimension. You cannot like cross back. If you went there, if you die and you go in Soul Society, there's no coming back. The only way you can come back is like if you're alive in the real world, you know? That's the only way you can come back. But then with Titan, you can just flip flop worlds if you want. Nothing is permanent.
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
So, anything else to add to the beloved Shield we like to roast?
Nope, that's about it.
I will say this: anybody that was watching for Daredevil, bruh, you don't need to watch the season finale. Daredevil is gone.
Yay.
I still feel sad for all these people that were expecting Matt every single week. And that's funny because I said it. They will keep him until the end. And I say it right now. Some people will be disappointed there's no Daredevil in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I know he won't be there. He did his cameo.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least we should get the other Netflix lead, hopefully. Unless
Yeah.
that, ended up being somehow false. That cameo stuff.
I don't think it's false, but I don't know when we will truly get that. Okay. I think we will move on to Stargirl. I hope you had time. You had time to watch it, right? Episode 5.
Yeah, of course.
Man, I will just say this. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Well, I would say what I really loved about this episode is yeah, we got a lot more things unraveling in this episode now. There's a lot on the table now that they're doing, and they handled all of them well. And yeah, and the main thing I wanted, yeah, and I thought it was great as well. But the main thing I really wanted to ask you first or foremost, though, is what do you think the end goal is that they're gonna do with Sydney?
Cindy, oh man, after that episode,
Yeah,
dude, after that episode, she will get a true redemption arc. I'm telling you. I think
do you think she's like caught on to Cameron? And
I think she will mess up the relationship between Courtney and Cameron, but not because she's being mean and crap like that.
yeah, because of how Cameron's been,
Yeah, and I think she will mess it up because she is trying her best to change. It's a team with her, so I'm pretty sure Cindy is really changing. And when she wanted Courtney approval in I think episode 2 or 3, now I'm pretty sure that was sincere. She really wanted Courtney approval. She really wanted to be accepted by Courtney. So I don't think there's any double cross there. And if there's one, it will piss me off a lot. Because this episode was centered around Cindy, and they really want us to feel her for her and to understand her better, you know? Like, that episode was Cindy centric. It was a Cindy episode. Even if we get lots of Cameron and Courtney and
oh yeah,
Sylvester, it's Cindy centric. And I really like what they were telling us this week. And I'm glad because we have a Cindy that changed. Remember 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember. Um, I said I don't want Cindy to lie and to manipulate Courtney with the feelings and stuff. I want Cindy to really want Courtney friendship. And in this episode, I'm pretty sure they are going the way where she really wants to become a good friend to Courtney. And I am so glad they do this. I really hope they will go further with this and they will go to the end of this kind of plot because this is what the character needs. And this is given us in many different ways where it makes sense. It's not suddenly the character changed overnight. You know, she still did some stupid stuff like double
hmm
crossing and being mean to Cameron, you know, and turning Cameron like I think she will be like the trigger for Cameron becoming villain at that point. I don't want Cameron to turn into a villain, but I think based on what we have seen, she will probably be the trigger for Cameron to turn villain. And it won't be because she want him to be villain. It's
yeah.
because
I think it's just his anger
yeah,
with his power.
she will cross a line she should not cross. Like in season
Oh
2,
yeah, accidentally.
she went at Cameron and she wanted to recruit Cameron, so Cameron become like one of the bad guys with her and stuff. That was with intent. She wanted to do some villainous stuff with Cameron. I think this season she may drive Cameron villain, but not wanting to. But she will. I think this is what they will be doing. They will make her create the next villain. I think. Um, that could be interesting, much more than the lazy. Oh, Courtney, you lied to me. And now with the seed they planted by telling, yeah, Cameron was an institute when he was a kid. That means he also lies to Courtney. Um,
Mhm.
I don't like lies, but if they both lie, that's fine because that sounds fair. Now the true question is when the lie unfold and when both characters know each other truth, what will happen? This is what I'm worried the most about, but I'm enjoying Cindy. For real, Cindy, I think Cindy and Sportmaster and Tigress, these are my three favorite characters this season. They are hands down my favorite character this season. And I like so much what they are doing with all of these three. Usually, like, some character get wasted in shows when it goes later than 1 or 2 seasons. You get the third season, the fourth season, some character are wasted. Here, it doesn't feel like that. They place so much emphasis on them, and it feels like a story for them with them. Now, we could say, oh, Rick and the others, it's kind of wasted as because they don't get that much, but we cannot do everything. There's a lot of characters, so they need to pick and choose what they really want to do. And I do think this week with Rick, even if we had like 2 scenes with him, his story did progress because of Sylvester.
Mhm.
Speaking about Sylvester, man, he is great.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I don't like him as much as Cindy and the other two because he didn't got like 3 seasons of background, but I still like a lot Sylvester and what he brings to the table, and I feel like he will turn into a villain.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
I do really love what they're doing with him right now.
I think he corrupt the staff, or the staff is corrupting him,
The staff is corrupting him, I think.
or it's both ways. They both corrupt each other because a lot of things are like that. Like you corrupt something and that
Yeah,
something
true.
corrupts you back. So maybe that's
But
something
yeah,
like that.
really love what they're doing there with him. God, it's hilarious watching those scenes as well. God.
Yeah, Sylvester is just
Uh.
great, and I think if they really turn him into a villain, I think he will be the best villain the show had because we had not an entire season, but like lots of scenes and episode dedicated to him turning into a villain, and that will make sense because he got corrupted, and this will also go into frenemies because this is the team of this season. The villain are now the good guys, and Sylvester is now the bad guy. This is uh, meta in a good way.
Mhm.
Sylvester, man, Sylvester, when he goes nuts and he burned the board with the Injustice Society with the staff,
Yeah.
man, the kids were shitting themselves.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. It's like, oh fuck. Like, don't say anything. It's like, I don't know if you ever watched the new Suicide Squad with James Gunn did, but
Not
it was
really.
kind of like that, honestly.
So that's funny because the dinner after that, the kids are at the table and they're like, Courtney, come back, please. Uh, Sylvester has a temper. And she's like, yeah, that's normal. And
Mhm.
I will also say something else I find interesting this season with Courtney this time. Superhero TV show, I like when they suit up and then do superhero stuff. Like, that's just cool because this is why you are watching. And when they ask her to suit up, she says and she reflects, Sylvester is there. He can do it. And she also says, I don't need to be Stargirl. She doesn't say it that way, but she basically says, I don't need to be Stargirl to be a superhero. Helping other, this is what superhero do. So I forgot how she worded everything, but do you remember that specific dialogue I'm trying to hint at?
Oh yeah, I remember the line of dialogue you're talking about.
That
And
was great
Yeah.
because
Uh, like, well, hasn't she done like all her stuff kind of this season so far?
yeah,
Out of the suit, outside of like a couple,
yeah,
outside of like yeah, like the first episode mainly, and like some training stuff. Other than that, like, damn,
yeah, that thing is great
yeah. And also,
because
what did you think of the line? Actually, sorry, can't continue.
yeah, we will keep your idea in mind, but I will keep going in that direction. In season 1, it was all about Stargirl, and she thought Stargirl was her future, and nothing else can go in that way. But then in season 2, she finds out and she learned that she need both sides. And here, with season 3, she learned it. She knows it. And she apply what she learned. So this is character growth. And this tells us, the viewer, how good the writing is. Because not every show will build season above season the way they did with Stargirl. They don't always give character arc to the main character each season. Sometimes they give character arc the first season, it's normal. Season 2 sometimes, but then season 3 and above, sometimes they will just divert their attention to other character. They will say, oh, look at that side character, look at that secondary character, supporting character, give backstory, give material to him. But this season, even if it's centered around the villains most of the time, or the previous villain, I should say, Courtney gets her own share of material. And this is good material because she has grown as a character, and I like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's the line I was gonna. It involved her, in the chemistry class. What did you think about that? Just her saying to think of, think
That
about her
was
fathers as Starman.
fire. That was funny. I
Hmm.
liked the chemistry scene, the lab with Cindy. Is it what you're talking about? The lab with Cindy?
Yeah.
Man, that was one of my favorite scenes this episode. That was a
Yeah,
great
I
scene.
was afraid that was gonna be one of the weaker scenes, but it ended up being one of the strongest scenes.
That was funny. You see, this is all
Yeah,
you write humor and funny stuff.
exactly.
You tell
Also,
the
I
worst
love how
about the
that
character.
password scene as well. God, that like kind of paid homage to Jurassic Park. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that is how you fucking write scenes. God. And then if you look at someone in like the MCU with like Homecoming, that they won't even. It will just be like a. They just won't. They'll just have like a millisecond, just showing it off, but not do anything with any scenes in those areas. It's hilarious. Like they just put so little effort into this, but then a CW show puts this much effort into it and does it well because competent writers and everything. It's damn.
Now, I want to speak about that math test. I liked it so much. With Beth, Sylvester basically called Beth when she's doing her math test, and he's like, "Yeah, I need help." So now she puts on the goggle, and then the goggle solve her math test, and she doesn't want that. She has like some kind of remorse at the end. She's like, "I cheated. I'm not feeling good. I cheated on my math test." It's not the right
Oh,
moment.
jeez.
That scene was great. Uh, that also shows how Beth also changed. She changed a lot because in season 1 she almost forced her way into a friendship with Courtney. Courtney didn't really wanted to involve her, and she was like, "But you will involve me." So it was in some ways cheating because she didn't earn her place in the JSA. She basically stole her place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So by making her not wanting to cheat in her math test, but ending up cheating by accident and being pissed at it, tells me she also has changed as a character. And I
Hmm.
like that. These are details, but they stack up.
Yeah.
And this is different characters we are talking about. Different
Yeah,
characters.
there's so many characters that got a lot of stuff, in this episode. Like and this did a fantastic job just spreading out each character, I think.
And Rick fixing the hourglass was interesting because this is because of Sylvester Insight. And they're like, yeah,
Hmm.
if you find a limiter and you take it off, maybe it will solve your issue. But then, maybe this will create a new issue where Rick will also become power hungry because he won't have that limiter anymore. Because not Sylvester, Pat in season 1, I think. Pat in season 1 basically told Rick, if your father designed the hourglass this way, it's because he didn't want to abuse of that power.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
because I was gonna ask because I didn't know quite well like with the hourglass like what it's exactly kind of.
so the
I
hourglass
forgot what it's exactly used for, so I was gonna ask like what do you think's gonna be the end result with the hourglass?
the
But yeah, I guess
hourglass
you answered.
gives super strength for an
Hmm.
hour because of the limiter.
Yeah.
And because he took out the limiter, I think he will become power hungry. So that
Oh,
may
okay. So
like
that's the part I missed. Okay, the limiter. So he took that out. So yeah, he might be power hungry then.
yeah, unlimited power with the thunderbolt of Palpatine.
Hmm.
Um,
Odd.
bruh,
How much screen time do you think those the two younger characters with the pen are gonna get for the rest of the season?
not that much, but I think I'm satisfied with what I had with them because they are not as important as the other, and
Yeah.
I think they are trying their best, and that was the point of that. And I like it a lot, but I feel like they're not as needed as the other core
Yeah, and
members.
that's fine. I like the scenes we caught. We didn't tell you the perks yet. It kind of reminded me of like a Stranger Things episode. God damn.
I was laughing because in my mind it's like Cindy's probably thinking they want some kind of threesome or something. And I was like, man, because they are teenager, and they were weird because they're weirdos, they're nerds, So Cindy was like, oh yeah, that's cute, but no. Do you know what I mean? That sounds dirty, but I mean,
Jeez.
these are teenager, man. Maybe that
Yeah.
was why she reacted this way. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Maybe I give too much intent,
That or just
but
that or just doesn't take them seriously because younger.
yeah, as well. Um, that was a funny scene. Pat and Barbara scene, I highlighted this one, but I
Yeah.
actually forgot what happened in their scene.
Uh, you mean when they were at like the diner or?
Oh yeah, the diner. That was the diner when the Smart Master and Tigress entered when they were at the diner. Yeah, the diner. Oh, I was laughing. That
Uh,
was a great scene.
yeah, and also yeah. So the start of this episode. So what did they show? Did it kind of like show that she was being controlled or
What? Cindy? Oh, that was actually weird, that thing. I must admit. Uh,
understand like what that was showing us? Like, was it showing that like yeah, like was I really didn't understand it.
she, uh, she wasn't in control of her body.
Okay, so she was like controlled or something,
Yeah,
or just okay. So you were right there, I guess. From a few episodes back.
yeah.
Get it? Okay.
And,
Yeah.
um, Sportmaster Tigress. Oh my, that was funny. Okay, Sportmaster in the basement with the beers. Was it this week or last week? I actually forgot. They
Uh,
were watching a
uh,
movie and cracking beers with Sylvester in the basement.
yeah, it was the last episode.
You see, this is how good some scenes are. Uh, but the lab scene here again, what I noted in the lab scene, I know we already touched on upon it, but I will say that I think that was an emotional scene because that was a good scene, a well written scene. Oh yeah, um, Cindy, we already speak a bit about her so far. Um, Cindy pushing Cameron into hulking up, as we say. Uh, that was great. What did you think of that scene?
Sorry, repeat again. I wasn't
The scene
listening.
where Cindy basically triggers Cameron so he unleashes ice power.
Oh yeah, I love that because that pretty much solidifies, what I know they're gonna do with her. Like that, yeah, she's gonna do some shit where if they break up and then he goes nuts and turns into a villain, tries to hurt her, but it isn't because of ill will this time. It's because she knows, that camera is like a loose cannon, and
Yeah.
has sketchy shit. So that scene solidified that, and like what they were doing with her in the episode, and with like the two other characters, like it pretty much solidifies now what their plan is with her and Cameron. So, and just those three. So uh, like that, and yeah, that was also a great job as well. Great dialogue, unlike She-Hulk. Yeah.
Was it this week where Beth needed to tell her parents to stay away so they don't get injured?
Um, I don't remember. Well, I mean, was it the? You mean like when they were on
They
the
wanted to
call?
help out. They wanted to help out, but Ben was like, "Don't help me anymore as midnight because it's dangerous."
I don't know if it was this. I forgot. It was, yeah, it was either last episode or this episode. But I mean, was it like when they were like on a call or something though?
They did it in person actually. They called.
Okay, so
They
I don't
called.
think that's the case then. They called them this episode, just like doing like asking, suggestion like a mission or something. But
Then she said no. Yeah.
yeah, so I think it was the last episode. I'm not quite too sure though. May I could be wrong.
In both cases, that scene, it was emotional because that's some kind of growth, accepting that with great power comes great responsibility, and her parents becomes her responsibility in that case. This is very poetic, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
agree. Got anything else?
Not really, man. No issue at all with this episode. I
Yeah.
gave it a 10 out of 10, and I do think it's my.
Yeah. For me, it's a yeah. I would give it a 10 out of 10 just because of how much they had on the table to work
Yeah.
with each character, and the fact they spread it out this perfectly and execute like it. Yeah, it deserves a 10.
I think so far it's my second favorite episode this season. Uh, the first episode is still my favorite so far, but this one is not that far behind. This was a really, really good episode, and I cannot wait to see what happens next for real. When will Sylvester turn evil? And I cannot wait for the true reveal of Mr. Bones. And
I still can't wait for that.
it's just good entertainment. This is what a comic book TV show should be like. This is well done, handled by good writers, and even there, like that goes back to what we mentioned earlier. It's aimed at teenagers, especially women and girls, because it's Stargirl, but it's handled by good writers, so even men like us can like what's going on the
Yeah.
screen.
As long as it's well written, it doesn't matter what the demographic is. Like, and it's just like children films or show. It's like you can do it in a way where adults appreciate it just as much as well. We've seen it with the Lego Movie and so on, and then also with other ones like this. We've seen it with like like Bo Burnham's Eighth Grade, which was like a coming of age film for teens that was just amazingly executed. Really. So yeah, yeah. So I mean, anything else I want to say?
Not really. Like I think we covered everything, and man, this season is great. There's no filler. There's no break in what's going on in the show. Everything is very entertaining. I think the pacing is great, and I cannot wait to see what will be the second episode directed by the people that made the
Hmm.
fight scene in the grocery store in episode 3. Cannot wait to see them back. I'm really
Oh yeah.
curious to see when they will be back to direct. This will be a blast. Now, I've heard a lot of things that is kind of sad, but so far they are not sure about Stargirl season 4. We already mentioned earlier, I actually mentioned earlier, what I've heard out there is season 3 feels like a final season, but they still leave the door open for a follow up. So even if it get cancelled, I think we will be satisfied with the ending of season 3 based on what I've heard. But it's very possible it will be the last season. But there's a big but. Rumors are she's doing a Titans and Doom Patrol cameo, and there were pictures on set with her in her costume.
Hmm.
So I suspect CW may drop Stargirl, but maybe HBO will pick up Stargirl if it does well.
Well, hopefully then. Okay,
Yeah.
so that would mean that okay, so the three shows that are the best ones that came out of CW, and the only ones that I really like, Superman and Lois, Doom Patrol, and Stargirl. If that happens, then that they all end up getting picked up by HBO later on. That is that that would be okay. Well, I guess Discovery Plus now because they're fucking. I still can't believe they're doing that. HBO's by far like best streaming service. I don't know why they're demolishing it for fucking. I get they want to like combine it, but combined it with HBO Max.
I think the
Uh,
true thing here, the guy in charge, Zaslav, he want to look good and he want to look like someone that knows what he's doing, even if he
no, he
doesn't.
doesn't.
He want to give other vibes, you know. I think this is what I'm getting from that. So he's like, look, investment. Look, people with the money. We are doing stuff over here. Look, look.
Hmm.
I think this is what's going on. But
Yeah. Oh.
to what were you about to
It
say?
kind. No, just it kind of pisses me off how fucking Titans is getting another season, not fucking Starker. That just pisses me
Yeah,
right off if that happens.
it, it
Oh god.
it's so sad. Now to revert,
Because it may be cheaper to make Titans. I don't know.
I think it's similar. I think it's similar because here's the thing. Uh, Titans, there are much more characters like in the main cast. Stargirl has lots of
Mhm.
character, but a lot of them are recurring and they are not series regular. Like the series regular in Stargirl, it's like Courtney, our mother, or Pat, and three other series regular. In this case, I think Cindy this season is considered regular. maybe Yolanda and Rick and Bet. So I think there are like 7 regulars. And what's going on is a lot of the money usually goes to the actors. And the more regular you got, the more money it costs you to just pay the actors. Then there's the CG and stuff. With Stargirl, they got a lot of supporting characters and like recurring guests. Like I think Mike and his friend are recurring guests because they barely show up. They just show up here and there. I think the Crocs are also recurring guests. But this season they got much more material because I feel like they want to write them off at some point, and they want us to feel for them. And I think if they would kill them off, I would feel something because at that point they redeem both character. I think they
Mm-hmm.
they really wanted to like tell that story. Uh,
Uh, Good timing.
I
Good time.
great
Hey,
timing.
what's up?
How are you, enlisted elitist? Elitist?
I'm surviving, man.
That's what happened. And as Cole said, great timing. We were closing on Stargirl right now because Stargirl is amazing this season. And
I actually haven't seen that.
yeah,
Oh,
I highly recommend. Watch season 1 and 2. It's really good. Writing wise,
it's the one like you might be like scared off because of CW film, but that and Superman and Lois are the good CW shows.
and if it can reassure you, season 1 was HBO before CW. It became CW with season 2. But it doesn't mean it went wrong because the same people are making the show. It's just a different person making the checks.
Hey,
Um,
if you guys aren't gonna go for too long, come back to the Illuminati podcast. I got to go back over there because I haven't seen this show.
okay, but
I want to talk to you guys. I'll come next.
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were almost done with Stargirl. That's the thing. We were about to move to Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade
Oh,
Runner,
Blade
because
Runner.
we figured you've seen both of them, so that we were saving it for
Yeah,
last. But
I'll come back
it,
in. I'm just trying to figure out how to do both things. Hold on, real quick.
okay, God, there's a
Because
Jaden and Paul fight. Oh
Paul and
God,
Paul and Jaden are
oh
getting into it
God,
about life perspective and who and if having kids is important.
Jesus,
It's
fuck
getting real.
me. Yeah, that's gonna need some moderating right there. Jaden and Paul fight. Oh God. Well, yeah, he'll maybe come back in and out with his input, I guess. But I mean, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, this is why I say fuck MSK because this is his fault because the stream would have happened earlier if it's not for his fuck up. So it would have ended an hour and a half ago. So it would have been cool to do. Whatever. But anyway, so yeah, so as I said, ever since I recommended Prisoners to multi-topic, which he ended up loving it, and so I thought, it'd be his type of film. So I thought, why not have him like watch all the films from this director, and since he's French Canadian, so yeah, I saved Blade Runner for last because, and others, near the end because I did, and I was gonna also save Dune for near the end as well, which you did like the least so far,
Yeah,
because as much as you do love sci-fi, but I felt like this might have been the sci-fi that might not be your cup of tea, but I could be wrong. But either way, so I did that. But yeah, but his last film is a sequel though to another film, so that's why this week we watched two, which was the original one by Ridley Scott in the 1980s. It's considered a classic and a masterpiece of a sci-fi film that like revolutionized a lot to people. Learn about all that stuff. Like it inspired many sci-fi films to come after it, and then they made a sequel like 40 years later with Denis Villeneuve directing it. That people are like, why would they do this? This is never gonna work out. This is such a stupid idea. But then it actually did, and it's also kind of praised as a masterpiece today, and in different ways. So yeah, I miss, but yeah. and in my opinion, I have to agree with that. But I don't know if you do, but I do. I think the original Blade Runner is just a classic, and the new one I absolutely love, especially just the cinematography of it all, the acting, the messages of it. It's just just the atmosphere and style really love. Yeah, and it's also how Anna de Armas got her big break. This is what really put her in the spotlight. This role there. Yeah, and then seeing Harrison Ford, come at and then the climax there and everything was just great. But and Jared Leto was did a good job playing a fucking psychopathic creep. Who's just like obsessed with technology.
That's
So
his
good
cup
cast
of
there.
tea. That's what Jared Little does.
Yeah, but yeah. So what I'm very curious. Yeah, we'll see if Film Lees comes back in and out because I know he's seen both of them and probably loves them. So he'd probably have like more in-depth stuff if he does come back. But maybe. But yeah. So yeah, I'm curious. So what did you think? What did you think about them?
I had mixed feeling, to be honest.
Yeah, figured.
I I enjoyed it. I will say that. I think I enjoyed it a lot. I had two issues. Um, the first one, show don't tell, long prologue text bad. So what I mean by there, I know Star Wars did the same thing in a long time in a galaxy far, far away. I'm not there to read a novel. I want to see it. Like, show me like the same story you depicted with words. Show it to me with character interacting, with shots with your camera, and maybe a bit of dialogue. Maybe a bit of natural dialogue
Hmm.
within that scene. So
Yeah, so we're talking. Yeah, I guess we're talking about the original first. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I have not seen the second one yet.
Oh yeah,
I
we'll see it
next week, yeah.
next week. Yeah.
Um, so we speak about the original, and I'm not a fan of that kind of exposure.
I get that, but it is a product of its time. Like all the
Yeah,
sci-fi films did
yeah,
that back then. They just thought that was it needed to get you in the zone. So
yeah,
it also the same thing with like that style of like acting from the lead character, which is
yeah.
Harrison Ford. In it, that's kind of like in almost every sci-fi film back then. So I kind of forgive like some points where it's just like he tried to act cool, kind of,
But I
kind of
will
like
say
kind of
this.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
I will say this.
yeah,
Even if this is one of my issues, I fully understand why it was needed intel and needed exposition, because this was important for the entire movie, and to understand what's a Blade Runner you need to read that kind of stuff. But as I said, there are better ways you could give the same intel and the same info, and as you said, it's a product of its time, and this is not really the other issue, but this is one of the reason maybe I didn't like jump fully into it and got invested deeply, because I have hard time with older movies. Now I'm not saying they're bad, nowhere near that, but
yeah. Oh,
I
I understand. Like again, I just want to say like this is
yeah,
not an unpopular opinion. There are a lot of people who say this about Blade Runner because of it's just like it's the same thing of like Citizen Kane, what it did for just cinema in general and genres, but how if you watch it today, it's kind of boring to a lot of people. It's just like a film about newspapers and stuff
yeah,
with just some like film revolutionary film techniques that we've seen a billion times now. It's kind of the same deal with Blade Runner right here, so
yeah.
we
Um,
aren't like in the minority or anything. There's a lot of people who think this.
I I do think that was kind of weird. 2019, I was like, for them it's 40 years because it was made in 1982, but when you do that kind of sci-fi and you want that much of a building of a universe, I think you need more time than just 40 years, but that's just me as as a critique. Like 40 years from now, right now, I don't think the world will change enough for that kind of stuff to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, the world will change, but I think in 40 years, I think it's more society than the world itself. And society will change for sure. I know that because human evolves, people change.
Yeah, and that you see that's another cliche of old films back then is they didn't like. I don't think they gave like the longest period of time for
Yeah.
these. They always did like 40 or 50 years instead of doing like over 100 or something.
If it's more than like 100 or 200, I'm like it's more believable, but 2019, it's like 3 years ago from now, and we are, even as of today, we are nowhere near that kind of society right now as aesthetic goes. Uh, some aspect of that, uh, robots. One of the biggest thing about that, robots becoming human and stuff. This is current day, but the rain all the time. I still like the rain. It's not a complaint. It's just like, do you see what I mean there? It, they did what they should have done 200 or 100 year in the future instead of just 40 years. I think it already broke like my immersion very fast and early in the movie. um,
Yeah.
Now my second issue, the pacing. Now I say that a lot, and I think this movie has the less pacing issue so far in the one Denis Villeneuve did, but it's
Like
still
Dune.
up there.
Yeah.
Like, it's still up there. Like, I feel like this movie could have been trimmed down, and at least this time it's not half an hour like Enemy.
Oh, just remember though, this one isn't by Denis Villeneuve. It's by Ridley Scott. It's the original.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, the remake after the one that I described with Jared Leto
Yeah.
and playing the crazy person. I thought you saw both of them when
No, only
but this
the
week. But
82.
yeah, that one is 40 years later. Is by Denis Villeneuve. This one is by Ridley Scott in 1980s. So
Yeah. I think the pacing was an issue. I feel like 10 to 15 minute. Now you will tell me it's only 10 to 15 minute, but I can feel it. Like, even if it's just that short, I can feel it, and I thought the movie was long. Even if it's just 2 hours, I thought the movie was long, and I was like, man, I want this to end. And it's not because it was bad or anything. It's just like, these scenes are so long, and they could be trimmed down, polished.
I don't blame you, but again, I'm used to slow films, so I didn't mind it. But yeah, that's just me. But yeah, and the sequel. I think the sequel is gonna have more stuff you'll enjoy, but it is longer and slower than this, I believe.
Yeah.
So it'll be 50-50 there.
Now that the negative is out of the way, let's mention my likes. I do like the atmosphere of the movie. I like the rain. The rain is cool. It's some kind of good aesthetic. I think the color of the movie was kind of cool. It's the movie had somewhat of a darker tone, visually and like in the themes, and I liked it a lot. Um, it feels like a cop movie in the future, and that's kind of cool. I like that. Like, Blade Runner are basically cops, but for robots, and I think it's kind of cool. And I think we get to meet a lot of character, and most of them are likable, but there's a bad side to that. They are forgettable. I cannot remember any character that I was like, that character is amazing, I want to see more of that one. No. It's very sad to say. And even the main character, even if he's very likable, I think he's also forgettable. I don't even know his name. I know the
I mean,
actor.
for me personally, yeah, you know the actor Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
You
I
can
like
just call him
Harrison Ford.
you can just call him Robot Ford, I guess. Yeah, but no, it was Rick. But yeah, Rick Deckard. But yeah, I mean, me, yeah, I mean, I thought the characters were memorable just of because the atmosphere and the world and everything they were set in was so memorable. I was able to remember the characters pretty well, even if they might not be like the most like in depth and like like detailed or anything with because of that. Sort of like the same reason why I can remember the characters in the Mummy 1999. So yeah, but
all the
it's just
quest
me.
the question that are asked to the main character and other character here and there are cool. I like the idea of that. The aesthetic, I like the visual, even if I wasn't happy on when they set in the future the storyline. I kind of liked the background and the aesthetic they wanted to give to this future so dark and grim 3 years from now. You see, yeah, I still liked it a lot. As I said, music and atmosphere, great. I think this is the atmosphere, the music, the background, and the visual that that motivated me to keep watching. Even if the pacing wasn't that great, I was like, I enjoy what I see, even if the pacing suffers. I still enjoy what I see. The action sequence, all of the action sequence are so good. I I liked it. I like the action a lot. Um, it's gore and it's dark. They take risk modern movie don't really take anymore, or modern movie when they take them, it's to parody or over the top. In this movie, it's not really over the top. It feels grim and grounded, Even if it's a futuristic
Yeah.
world, it feels grounded, and this is part of the charm. I like grounded stuff. So, sometimes in more modern movie, the action is over the top, and I'm like, that's cool and all, but I like more grounded stuff. And I feel like with this movie, I was getting the more practical effect and the more grounded action I I'm starving for, because in 2022 we no more have such thing. It's all about green screen today. Um, the very dark scene with the eyeballs. That's in my notes. Someone got attacked in the eyes, right? Yeah, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Someone was like getting his eye destroyed by fingers and stuff. That was grim and dark. I was like, wow, that movie is doing stuff that 2022 don't dare to go. you know?
I believe this was even like yeah. Let's see. Did that other film come out? Let's see. This came out the same year as The Evil Dead, when it was kind of like one of the first to start doing that stuff. So yeah, this was another one that was just like, yeah, kind of first there as well.
So you see that kind of action. It's gore, but it's something you don't often see in media, and it's something that follows the line of this movie is dark and grim, and I like that. I like the tone of the movie a lot.
Hmm.
Here again, action sequence. I think that was when the guy was chasing the robot girl in the dancing room and stuff. That was really cool. I like that a lot. The music again, I liked the music. It helped out a lot in the sound effect as well. I think this movie is just well done overall, outside of the few nitpicks and small issues. There's another gore scene I liked, but I actually forgot that one. And I've seen that movie 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, just before the stream. Um, the other action sequence where the robot jump on Harrison Ford, That was kind of cool. That was neat. Like he kills her, and then the other one wants revenge, and this leads to one of my favorite. Well, no, not one of my favorite. My favorite scene of the movie. The guy is hanging off a cliff, and the robot shows more humanity than the human by saving the
Yeah.
being. I was, wow. Usually I'm like, just kill your main character for the shockers and to be shocking and to be interesting, you know. But here, I liked that aspect. The robot saved the human. The robot
Mhm.
shows more compassion. That
Yeah.
was golden. I think
Yeah.
that scene made the movie for me.
hmm
Um,
I really just show like the fucking fall of humanity there.
yeah.
It kind of sums up today, right? I'm sure a robot would have more compassion than a fucking Twitter user, but a real human behind it. God. Ugh.
Man, that scene made the pacing I didn't like worth watching. um, this is one of my favorite scenes in all of the movies combined. The movies we covered so far. Man,
Oh yeah.
that scene. I think overall it was very enjoyable. 8.5 out of 10.
Damn, I did not expect that high of a rating. Shit.
Well, I will tell you this. I hesitated. I was like, maybe it's a 7.5, but then I think again about the robot scene saving the human. I was like, no. With that kind of scene, this movie deserves at least 8. And then I was like, what else did I give 8? Nope. And I'm like, just because of the message at the end of Blade Runner. Blade Runner takes the crown and becomes king. 8.5. Um,
Mhm.
I still don't see myself rewatching because most of that grade is really the ending when the robot saved the human. That kind of scene doesn't exist anymore in movies and TV shows. It's rare to have poetry like that, and that makes the movie deeper. And I like when movies are deep, not too deep. Sometimes they lose me. But in Blade Runner case, when they pull off that kind of stuff, it's a candy for the eye, you know.
Yeah.
What would be your score for this movie?
Well, for me, I mean, okay, so it's really 50-50 on it with like being either a 9 or a 10. I know it's at least a 9 though. I really love it, and I really think like people who crash on it nowadays and say like there is a lack of a story somewhat, like it sets up like metaphors for stuff about society and robots and everything, and but then doesn't really like say as much about it outside of just like the underlying messages, and mainly just like depends on the visuals and stuff. You could say like that's what people try to bring up about this, with just being not like actually an amazing film that nowadays. But I mean, I completely disagree, but to an extent though, I kind of can see their point though, and with like the story, like and with there being some like scenes where it's kind of not really much substance, so I don't know if it really deserves a 10, but I'm still thinking about it. I'm pretty 50-50. It's the same thing I think with the sequel as well. I'm pretty 50-50 on it with either a 9 or a 10, but yeah, for now though, I'll give it in the middle a 9.5.
And after watching this movie, I actually understand much more one of the song of one of my favorite rapper. He is from Belgique. I think it's Belgium or somewhere in Europe that speaks French, but it's not France. And his song is called Blade Runner, and that rapper is really deep and he is into deeper philosophy and stuff. And this is what I like the most about that rapper, because his albums are about life and death and belief and changing, and humans who they are at their core, and what they should seek for to change and become a better as a group and collective. That guy is wisdom, and that guy is doing magic with his music. And one of my least favorite project he did, it was much more like jazz than rap. It was much more piano than rap. That's why I liked it less, and also because it was more into poetry than like rap and giving message. It was about like his mind of state, and one of the song in that project was Blade Runner, and I like that song. That was one of my favorite song in the project, and now I see the second meaning of what he was trying to say through that song, and you can tell the guy understand Blade Runner movie, and he wanted to pay homage to it. So it's probably one of his source of inspiration, and
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I'm glad I have spent 2 hours on that movie, and I'm really excited to see the sequel. Um, I think most of the time people are disappointed with sequel because they expect to feel the same thing as the first they have seen.
Mhm.
But that's the wrong state of mind. It's a different movie made by different people, different writer. Even if it's a follow up, you will not get.
Yeah, but again, people like said that because it's like making a follow-up sequel 40 years later to a classic film, one of the best people say sci-fi films ever. That really doesn't need it, so at all. So, but like, yeah, this is obviously going to be a failed cash grab, but oh, it ended up being as amazing to a
Yeah,
lot of people.
I'm actually really excited. I actually think this is me. I have not seen it yet, but I expect to like much more the second one than the first one, because I think the second one, I don't have I
I'll say I do think you will, but I will say I do think like the second one is even it's longer, I believe, and it's a bit slower, and a lot of there are more scenes that I think drag on for longer. That so I mean just go into it, like being prepared for that, but
yeah.
but the visuals, accommodate it though, looking beautiful when the scenes drag on, but everything else, so I do think you'll like more than the this one.
Going into it, I feel like it will be more modern. It will feel like a what when was this one made? 2016, 17?
2018.
I was close. So it will feel like a 2018 sci-fi, but with some of the ideas of the other movie, and it will be a good sequel. So here's what I'm looking for next week, and this is why I think I will like it more. It's because it will be more modern. I think
Mm-hmm.
this will help out a lot for me, because as I said, I struggle a lot with older movies. Like sometimes there are old
Yeah.
movies where they are really good, really
Uh,
great,
oh
but
yeah. I'll say the only flaw I have, well, not a flaw, just the one disappointment I had with the sequel to me personally, despite loving it, is God. It is I really wanted, Harrison Ford to show up in it and he didn't. That was disappointing, but the new lead, I believe, yeah, it's Ryan Gosling
that's
who's the
interesting.
actor in it, but yeah, so it was disappointing not to see him in it, but yeah. But, besides that though, yeah, I loved it and it shocked me. Definitely what was one of my favorites of 2018.
That's always good to hear, and as I said, I'm very excited to see it. Now, take time and think about another list of movie we could cover after Blade Runner 2.
Oh yeah,
And
there was one I had in my mind, but I think I forgot about it. But
if it's
I'll see if I
animation, we
remember.
will keep it for the other podcasts we have planned for when we officially
Oh,
started.
oh yeah, right. It's those ones. Yes, I
Yeah.
sent you like the list of those ones
So
before.
the animation, as I said, animation movie and stuff, we will keep it separate, even if um, animation is great sometimes. I still think they should be on another podcast. You know what I mean. That's why I was thinking about manga animation slash animation,
Yeah.
because I know for a fact that Bleach, there's a lot of episode there, and speaking about Bleach, they started adapting the final arc of the manga, and the first episode was golden. Wow.
Um.
So I cannot wait to speak about Bleach with you, the first season, back in
Oh yeah.
2004. um, I am currently rewatching Bleach. Now I am like
Mhm.
almost done with season 3, because I will skip all of the fillers, so I'm almost done with season 3, and I'm having a blast. I also read the manga on the side, because I do think the manga was much better than the anime. The anime did a
Oh
great
yeah,
job,
definitely.
but the manga, man, the manga, I think the biggest thing about the manga is how dark and gritty they did things, and it's a it's a anime slash show about people with sword. So they cut off people, In the manga, there's a lot of arm being chopped off, left and right. The anime, not that much. But with the final arc, based on the first episode I've seen, they fixed that.
Well, I'm excited to watch it. But yeah, also yeah, this was yeah, it was in a Twitter DM message, but yeah, I'll just send it in
Yeah,
as well in case you get to see it. But yeah, it was the list of films, I believe. So yeah, but anyway, continue.
and at Bleach, what's very interesting, there are a bit deeper meanings behind what's going on, and right now, most of the YouTube content I am watching is Bleach content out there, because there are a lot of great Bleach content creator, and I like it even more, because there are many really good analysis of Bleach, and I always liked it. I always knew it was something else than Naruto One Piece, because the main character is very different, the tone is also very different, and message throughout the entire series are different than Naruto, One Piece, and other anime and manga. I always knew that, but after watching many analysis and many books, many people speaking about the books and speaking about the anime, I came to like even more Bleach as an IP. And when you watch, take as much notes as you can,
Hmm.
because there's deeper meanings than just what you see. And this will start with the first season, but as the show go on, it becomes more deeper. Like the first season is like the introduction to the concept of Shinigami, bad spirit, and Soul Reaper duty and stuff. And there's a thin bit of like the powers and the
Hmm.
responsibility linked to it. But
I see. Okay.
when you go with season 2, this is when things are getting much more spicy about the deeper meanings and what's going on. Like, without any spoiler, um, and I will give a good example. You know Naruto, right? I don't know
Yeah.
if you have seen all of it or not, but you know Naruto.
I've seen enough of it.
You have seen Dragon Ball as well, right?
Not really, but I like know about it enough.
Okay. Naruto, Dragon Ball. These two shonen, manga, anime, the training is through fight and exerting strength and
Yeah.
showing you're the strongest and improving your physical strength. Because if you become stronger, it's through training, you know? And it's cool. It's cool, but it's not really deep. It's not. It's lacking substance because it's obvious. You go at the gym, you train, you will gain muscle, you will become stronger. What Bleach does, they let you at first glance think it's the same thing, but there's something else with Bleach, and the something else is communication because this is all about souls. Everything has a soul in Bleach, and it's about learning how to communicate um, with others and mutual understanding. And this is magic. And the foreshadowing they do throughout the series, even me, I've read the manga at least 3 times, and I've seen the anime at least 2 times. So I am a veteran. I have not seen all the foreshadowing other content creator out there pointing out in the writing. And they are right. They didn't make this up. I look back at the lines they point out and at the dialogue they point out, and they are right. And it's really smart that a shonen is able to give a different experience on each viewing or reading. They basically give you spoiler throughout the entire series and you don't even know it. And when you have seen the entire thing, you still don't realize they give away spoiler. This is how clever they are.
Yeah.
So it's just to hype you up a little bit,
I mean, I did notice that in like Naruto episodes as well, especially that big reveal that. I mean, people who watch Naruto today would be like, "That's not a reveal," but at the time it was because nobody knew that character was actually female. But it was a huge shock. So, but they gave clues about it and then other stuff. So yeah.
So, where are you
Play watch
with
it when I
Gotham?
have time, hopefully. I'm almost done. It's just God. I would have finished it yesterday and today, but the fucking shit. I should have that, and then probably season 2 if I have the time, which I should this week maybe.
That's good.
Finished for next stream, so that's good. But
I'm
yeah,
really excited about that because I think you've been hooked, right, with the back half of season 1 when things started to unfold.
well, I was hooked with the characters. The other stuff not so much, but then near the end, I actually got more into the feel of like the gritty feel of
Yeah.
of everything and what it was adapting, whether it executes it well or not, and then in the later seasons. But yep, so that really pissed me off because that's whatever. But yeah. Anyway, as you can see though, in the there's somebody lecturing Jaden on his parenting. It's Are you kidding me? Jesus, I need to join. Jesus, well, we're about done anyway. But yeah, I'll send you like the one film for this week for you to the week after for you to watch after Blade Runner 2049. And but yeah, I sent you the four anime films that you can when we do the animated podcast for you to watch in order, I guess, but
Yeah.
or in whatever order you want. And then yeah, so then I'll send you the one recommendation after Blade Runner 2049 later, or a new list of films
Yeah.
there. And then thirdly, here's the StreamYard link for that, so you can hop right on and laugh at them.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's about it.
So thank you again.
Great stream.
I'm
Yep, no
having a
problem. Thank you
blast.
again.
You are an amazing
Oh yeah,
co-host.
this was a great stream. I really loved this one.
You're amazing. I'm very glad to have you as co-host.
You do most of the talking. You're amazing.
You're amazing. You accept to come there. It's 9:30 p.m. your time. It's late. You must be tired, you know.
I know it's
just
actually
up and-
11:20 p.m. But I have a late schedule, so
You're great, man. As usual, I will hop in the others the other like I'm
Yeah.
curious because if they speak about parenting, I know.
Oh, yeah, they're lecturing Jaded. Oh my god, such a string
Okay,
combo.
okay.
About
So
his parenting,
we
Jesus
leave
Christ.
this.
Yeah, let's hop on
Have a
now.
good night, everyone. Like, comment, and
See ya.
subscribe. All the good stuff.
See ya.